I mean, it's clear. There's no other way that you would, oh, we're in space, and now it's a difficult video, and now there's compression effects, and then
Yeah,
show
and the
me the
quality.
logo, and then the logo has
And the
compression effects. Why?
Houston, we have a problem.
This was the launch, of course. This is Perseverance going to the great planet of Mars, some 50 to 150, whatever they claim it is at this point in time, million miles away, and they're going to drop this thing into the atmosphere, and it's going to be this little rolling remote control car. It will have a helicopter attached. Ira, did you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a helicopter, yes. Here was news also in the media. So.
And so again, I mean, I understand everybody's got their own opinion of what this actually is. I know Dave Weiss continues to think that it's a balloon with smoke coming out of it. I don't know. To me, it's simple. I do believe that you can create.
It's a missile.
It's a missile. Yeah, that's exactly my belief. You can create missiles. Humans have the ability to create a missile and launch it out in a certain direction. They can go a certain distance, right? One of the things that we know for sure is you can't see very far. I mean, if you think about a plane, how far do you think you can see planes in the sky? I'm talking about distance away from you, right? East or west or horizontally. Not very far. I mean, if you think you can see a plane 5-10 miles off in the distance, I don't think you can. You're just not going to see through the atmosphere. So yeah, I'm just going to show this, and this is what I think is so funny. You know, you watch this, and you have to remember that the distances and the speed that they're telling you are just what they're telling you, okay? And there's a reason why. I'll stop this again. There's a reason why you never. Yeah, that's supposedly steam is what they're saying. Supposedly this gets so hot it needs to be drenched with water, and the thing gets so hot that this is steam. That's supposedly their story. But here's what you have to remember. That you'll never see a rocket launch from the side view. Why? Because we saw the side view one time. Remember, Ira, we looked at that, the side view of the SpaceX launch, where basically the thing went up from this side, went up, and then went down, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So they won't show you the view from the side. Why? Because it will be painstakingly obvious that the thing is not gaining altitude. As it is with this, if you just use your mind and are not in awe of the miracle of space travel and what a great human species we are and how fantastic American ingenuity is, if you get over that, you'll start to realize the hoax. So here this thing takes off, and you just have to think of how quickly, and we're going to be watching down here in the lower left, the so-called or the supposed speed and distance. So this thing's taking off, and in a second here we're going to get, I believe, hopefully.
To go at 22 times the speed of sound, how many of those shocks that they should have, right? Those kind of breaking the sound barrier should be one after the other.
And this is supposedly, just so people can see this is the miles altitude. It's not kilometers, not anything else. This is miles, and this is miles per hour. So again, within 35 seconds, and that's even if you count, this thing slowly lumbering up. Within 35 seconds, it's at 10 miles altitude, which is higher than any commercial jet, 52,000 feet, right? So it's already hard to believe at this point. And then, as we know, it's going to go up, and it's going to, as we said, start to level off, flying horizontal with the ground. But again, if you watch this thing just lies to you, just completely and totally lies to you and tells you this thing. Look how fast this thing is saying that it's rising. It's rising a mile or 2 miles or 3 miles every second. I mean, it's like 3 miles a second. And now this is leveled off. This is now flying down. Okay, it's no longer gaining altitude, but look at the altitude. 39, 40, 41, 42, 40. It's going down. 44, 46. This is heading down.
See, there it is. Now it's already going down.
Yeah, hold a pencil. I mean, if you're looking at this from any angle, it cannot be going up. That's not what it would look like.
The thing is that, and I'm going to play the devil's advocate or something like that. I always listen to you guys
what is
saying
that,
that word.
Bro? Is it Diablo?
Abogado, yes, abogado, lawyer of the devil. But the thing is, leave just the idea that now is not going down, but at least it's horizontal.
At least, okay, I'll give you that.
At least it's going away, right? Horizontal.
Yes, it's just in the straight path to the horizon.
Chinese missile that you show, right?
Exactly.
You have the two,
Yes.
two angles,
Yes.
and
I'll
you
give
can
you
see
that.
it's going away.
Yes.
I'll give you
It's
that.
going
So then-
away in
Well,
straight
until it
line.
gets out of sight, and then
Just
it falls
that.
into the the missile graveyard in the ocean.
Yeah.
I'll give you that, but it is
Eventually,
not
yeah.
rising at basically
It's
1
not going
mile
up.
per second. It's just not. And again, this is just a lie. I mean, they have it set basically. Look at, they can have it set to rise. Look at it's actually
of
going
course.
exactly.
That's a
in order.
widget that you program, right?
Yeah, it's just
I mean,
easy. Yeah, it's just simple, and then it can just
No,
get a little
that's
bit
very
faster.
difficult to do, man.
Oh, so difficult.
Yeah, look at that graphic. It's so futuristic. It's
Oh.
impossible to human do that.
So,
No, you can tell it's connected to all their machines, right? The sensors, real time.
Oh, and that just jumped 4 miles. So now we've got 70 miles in altitude. I mean, people need to think of how far 70 miles is. I mean, you can barely see an airplane at 5 miles,
Right.
And this is 75
That's
miles.
way too far for seeing this. But
It's ridiculous.
wait, shouldn't it get to 17,000 miles an hour at some point, or does it do that?
Carlos
Yes.
Pagan.
Well, it's supposed to go faster than that to get away from Earth, isn't it?
Yeah, the escape velocity. So it's either it's falling later, it can go horizontally for a while, but it's definitely not going up.
No. And again, I
and-
don't know
and
how
if
to
it-
explain
yeah.
it better to people that if you take a pencil and you hold it up above your head and out in front of you, start to angle it where the pencil is pointed up, where the pencil is pointed down, where the pencil is pointed away from you. And clearly when you get that angle is when the pencil is pointed down. Okay, if it's pointed, it may be horizontal, maybe like Iru said, maybe horizontal, but if you point it up, you get the underside of you don't get that side of the craft.
Yeah.
It-
I mean, you see with the clouds, right? As the clouds go away from you, you see them flat from the bottom, lowering towards the horizon. You don't see them spinning or turning.
And then they show you this, and I'm sure Carlos thinks this is real. Why? Because the thing is, it's going away from you because of perspective, and this is the next
I
view you
mean,
get.
Can you just compare that to an ISS picture? Because it already looks like what it looks like from the ISS. It's like, what's the difference?
Yeah, it's
It
just
looks
the
like they're
same.
using the same backdrop.
And they're again 225 miles, and you can keep watching this thing's just jumping. But again, it's supposedly flying up in the sky.
Oh,
what
they
was
put a
that?
lot of their ice particles in this one too.
Oh,
Kinda...
that's another thing. I think it's on this screen. Is it on this one or? I had a screen up yesterday where see all these little fragments flying. They were flying even in the other screen. Hopefully it's on this one. I'll show you if it comes up. It was like basically just telling you that it's all bullshit. But again, people can believe whatever they want. Carlos, if you want to believe it,
They're
believe it all you
flying
want.
almost like back towards the camera or something sometimes. That would be impossible, but kind of looks like that. Who knows how kind of they layered this in their CGI program? It looks really fake.
So I don't know if you can see these little pixels that are showing up. They're like little.
I don't see a fake really in terms of my eyes. I just see a missile to maybe 25, 30 kilometers up in the sky going in a straight path with a fisheye lens. It's nothing fake. The thing is fake is that they don't show the complete flight of the rocket.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
they
comparing this to
The thing that's fake is their story.
rockets,
No, maybe-
the sounding rockets, they go up and they go fast, and they don't get all this ice. That's what I'm just questioning why all this stuff. You don't. Do you see this all the time? This much of it? It just looks slightly different.
Well,
Oh,
real quick,
but
Yeah.
you can argue that maybe the condensation, because this rocket has more fuel and it's more heat, accumulate more heat, and maybe when you go up there, the temperatures are really low. So you can have condensation, whatever. You have in the first step condensation, and then that condensation get freeze. Okay, the thing is, maybe it's
300
not right. Maybe
300
it's
miles
not.
would be, inside that layer that. I mean, of course. So you said 20 miles, right? You said something.
Yeah, a little more, maybe 30 miles. And
Yeah.
you can maybe see that behavior in the gas house spread, which is something that spreads very in a spherical pattern, like there is no pressure there to keep it, more in the jet stream way.
But
But
there
the
are
fact
examples
is,
of missiles doing that, right? That spreading
Yes.
pattern.
let me point
Okay.
this out real quick, and then you can go back to. Do you see how it's like breaking pixels here? Like you'll see these little squares. I was trying to pause it on one, but you'll see them flash across the screen. It's like, oh, the feed is breaking up, and it's getting. You'll see it here in a second. There's like these little square pixels. Eero, you have to tell me what they are. I'll see if I can pause on one. But I think it's hilarious that they're showing these little broken pixels here, and then the next screen is their logo screen, but the broken pixels are still there. Okay, see right here, Eero?
Yes, that compression thing.
Okay, so then see again, and then you can keep pausing it, and there'll be more and more of these. It keeps happening, right? So you just saw one over here. I'm playing it in slow. Okay, broken pixels, compression, whatever you want to call it. Here it is more. Here's a big one right there. Here's some out here. Okay, so see those squares, the little black and white squares are appearing over here a lot. I'm sure everybody can see them. In a second, you're going to see it switch to their logo screen. And why would there be compression issues on the logo screen? What would be the possible reason for that?
Well, we don't know the source of the transmission. So maybe they are receiving into computer. The computer take it from. It's like, for example, I don't know. Maybe let me just explain with example on StreamYard. I am using the data from StreamYard to replicate and resend it to YouTube via OBS. So on the logo on the StreamYard, I could have compression, pixelation in the logo of the StreamYard in this case. The thing is that, for example, even in the NASA logo could have patches of bad compression. So I never upload a video from the ISS with compression errors, because that things happen. That is not a direct confirmation of that they are faking it in some studio. That things happen all the time.
The compression error doesn't happen on the launch. It's only happening here on the supposed video from space.
They are very far away to the antenna. They can say that. I mean, I am not. I'm still a predator, guys.
Yeah, but see, the screen is frozen.
The thing is that
the screen is frozen.
They can use any argument for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
One question: do you think this is a live feed?
Well, that is the question, and then I mentioned that maybe this was recorded and then creating that in some in any compositing software, because we don't have any proof that they are live. No. For me, it's more easy, and I say that many times before. Like it's more easy to send a rocket, film real footage, and then uses and combine it with a picture of the rocket or some animation of the rocket. But for me, this guy have the technology to film that. It's not that doesn't prove anything. No. That is a rocket in the upper atmosphere.
But
nothing more.
Don't you find it a little bit strange though, Eero? Like when you see the video from like the view that we were just watching, it's always with like the Earth below the rocket. Like you never can see. It's never any other view. And then the rocket's not spinning at all, like not even a little bit. You would think that if it was a rocket, that there would be some sort of, natural rotation as it's turning, but it seems to stay in one position.
But nothing tells me that this is a heliocentric model. And that image is a real-time live feed.
Correct. I just think that it's obvious to me that they try and make it look very... I think they add these compression effects. I don't think there are any compression effects. I don't think it's anything, because you wouldn't have compression effects that accidentally leak over the logo. But here's one thing I could do. I could add little squares on my live stream right now. I could add a lot of little squares, and I could pretend like my live stream has compression effects. And the way you would know for sure that I did that is when I accidentally put up the title of today's show, right? If I switched right now to this screen, and all of a sudden you saw the compression effects happening on this piece, you would know that I've faked those compression effects. Because it's clearly not...
a layer.
It's clearly not... If they're showing... Yeah, it's layers. I mean, it's clear. There's no other way that you would... Oh, we're in space, and now it's a difficult video, and now there's compression effects, and then show me the logo, and then the logo has compression effects. Why?